330.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can you just hit your mic for me?
Yes,
Thank
there we
you.
go. I'll start over. Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to the 337th meeting of the City of Laurel Board of Appeals. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Whitley,
Present.
Mr. Lee, Mrs. Les,
Present.
Mrs. Collins,
Present.
Chairwoman Chanat.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. Since we can get right to we have to do the approval of the minutes of the March 24th meeting. May I have any recommendations or a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of the March 24th, 2016 meeting.
Second. Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Whitley,
I vote yes.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mrs. Les,
I'll abstain, I wasn't at the last meeting.
and Chairwoman Chanat.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Item number 3, variance application number 860-312 Laurel Avenue filed by Laurel Holdings 3, Inc. May I have a reading of the record, please?
Sure, good evening. Variance application number 860 was filed on February 8, 2016 by Laurel Holdings, Inc., requesting approval to construct a 4,660 square foot, two-story addition to an existing service establishment that houses data servers and they're seeking approval for a variance for a building lot coverage, front and side yard setbacks, fence height located at 312 Laurel Avenue, Laurel, Maryland 20707. The property is zoned commercial general. Under date of February 12, 2016, a memorandum asking for comments was sent to the following city departments: Department of Public Works, the Police Department, Departments of Parks and Recreation, Fire Marshal, Chief Building Official. The following responses were received. The Department of Public Works memorandum dated April 28, 2016 reads as follows. The department has received the revised amended site development plan for 312 Laurel Avenue to construct a 4,660 square foot, two-story building as an addition to the existing office building. After the review, this department recommends approving this plan with the following conditions. The plan must be sealed by a registered Maryland professional engineer. The driveway apron at the proposed location would be reconstructed to 23 wide, and the adjacent pedestrian ramps must be reconstructed to meet the latest ADA standards. Any utility cuts on the city street must be restored following the city standards that require the permanent patches in the cut area to be full depth base patches with a 2-inch mill and overlay from curb to curb, and a minimum of 25 feet in each direction of the cut. The scope of the restoration work will be determined by this department. The applicant agrees to meet this department on site to perform all necessary sidewalk repairs along Laurel Avenue in front of this address. There was no comments from the Laurel Police Department nor the City Parks and Rec Department. The Chief Building Official Fire Marshal Office stated that the new addition shall be fully sprinklered. And on February 12th, this application sent out a cover letter asking for comments from the following agency: the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission. They had no objections to this application, and the project will be deemed negligible. Prince George's County Health Department, no comments regarding this proposed request. Maryland State Highway Administration had no comments regarding the project. There were no responses from any other agencies. Under date of February 12, 2016, a letter advising of March 26 public hearing dates was sent by certified mail to the applicant, the property owner, and all contiguous property owners. All return receipts were received. However, the applicant requested that the item be moved from the March 2016 Planning Commission and Board of Appeals agenda to make changes to the project. Under date of April 21st, 2016, a letter advising of the revisions to the applicant's request and notifying of the May 26, 2016 hearing date was sent by certified mail to the applicant, the property owner, and all contiguous property owners. All return receipts were received. The file contains a certificate of publication verifying that the application and public hearing was advertised in the May 5th, 2016 issue of the Prince George's Centennial. A memorandum from the City of Laurel Planning Commission to the Board of Appeals dated May 13, 2016 reads as follows. At the regular meeting of the City of Laurel Planning Commission held on May 10, 2016, the following action was taken on the subject zoning application. On motion by Mr. Welford, seconded by Mr. Kish, and carried on a roll call vote by all other members present. The Planning Commission recommended that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals grant variance application number 860 as presented in the technical staff report. The file contains an affidavit signed by the applicant attesting that a zoning sign has been placed on the subject property and shall remain until a decision is reached by the Board of Appeals. That concludes the reading of the file, Madam Chairman. Excuse me. So the applicant, Laurel Holdings, they're proposing to construct a two-story addition at 312 Laurel Avenue. The property is zoned commercial general and was constructed in 1971. Since 2009, the owner has owned the property, and it has been used as a service establishment to house data processing storages for educational institution on the first floor. The second floor has been vacant since that time, and they would like to make modifications so they could get a similar tenant onto the second floor. And in order to get a tenant on the floor, they need to make the modifications to the property. Therefore, the proposed addition will include a glass atrium entrance, a security station, conference room, an elevator to make the site ADA compliant, utility rooms, also have a fence to provide security to the property. The site currently has an 8-foot fence, but they would like to remove the 8-foot high fence and place it with a 9-foot fence around the property. Therefore, the applicant is requesting the following variances for the property: one for building lot coverage, front and side yard setbacks, and the fence height. For the building coverage, the applicant is requesting to have the building coverage increased by 3%. In the commercial general zone, you can't exceed 30%, and they would like it to be increased to 33%. The applicant is proposing to have a front yard setback of 2 feet and 2 inches and a side yard of 9 feet. So they're requesting to have a front and yard setback of the proposed, and they will also like to have the 9-foot high fence, perimeter fence to secure the property. With the new modifications that will be done, they will have 25 parking spaces on the site. The site for the businesses, they do not have on-site employees. It's done remotely. The only time there's employees that come if there's something for maintenance, and that's usually once a week or if there's an issue that takes place. So they will have 25 parking spaces, and staff feel that those parking spaces will be sufficient for the business. Therefore, staff recommends that the City of Laurel Board of Appeals approve the variance number 860 with the following conditions. The applicant shall amend their current use and occupancy permit to reflect service established business. The applicant shall obtain appropriate City of Laurel permits for construction of the addition and new fence installation. The applicant shall obtain a City of Laurel right-of-way permit prior to conducting any work in city right-of-ways and prior to the issuance of a building permit. And the site plan shall be stamped by a professional engineer and resubmitted for signature prior to application for site work permit. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? I'm sure we'll have some. So we have a sign-up sheet with, I believe, the applicant's attorney, is it Haller? Haller, okay. Would you come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record, please?
Sure. Thank you, and good evening. My name is Thomas Haller. I'm an attorney with offices at 1300 Caraway Court in Largo, Maryland, and I'm here tonight representing the property owner and the applicant. First of all, I'd like to thank you for being here for a holiday weekend, and we're the only case on the agenda, so we're going to make this quick and so that we can all get out of here. And I'd also like to thank staff, Ms. Pulley and Mr. Brock, for assisting us, as well as Karen Ruff assisting us in getting us to this point. As staff indicated, the property has been owned by the current owner since 2007, and the owner is an affiliated company to AINet. AINet is headquartered in Beltsville, and they provide data processing services to governments, to corporations, educational institutions. They bought this building with the intention of putting data processing servers in the building, and they did that in the first floor, and it's been utilized in conjunction with an educational institution since that time. Unfortunately, given the date that the building was constructed and the construction techniques that were done, the upstairs cannot accommodate the weight of the equipment that's needed to provide the electrical equipment provided for data processing servers. And so, and also the upstairs is not ADA compliant. So the purpose of this addition is twofold. Number one, to provide the structural support that they need to put the electrical equipment in upstairs that would allow them to bring in a tenant, and 2, to make the building ADA compliant, which is what the elevator will do. The other modification to the building that they're making has to do with additional security. Different clients, different tenants have different security needs. Some governmental users have much higher security requirement. The building is secure enough for an educational institution, but it's not secure enough for a governmental entity. And so by providing the perimeter fence that you see, the 9-foot high fence, and the gate along the entrance, it provides the necessary security for them to be able to attract a tenant who has a higher security requirement. So that's basically the need for the variances and the reason for the building addition. As you can see from looking at the aerial photograph, the building is already constructed close to the street. It doesn't conform, the existing building doesn't conform to the front yard setback. And then the side lot line where we are seeking the variance, where we have a 9-foot setback, that's also an existing condition. We're not putting any addition on that side of the building. The addition that we're putting on is on the other side of the building where we meet the setback requirement along the side. And so the improvements that are going to be made to the building are going to improve its aesthetically along the street. It's going to be a much more attractive, modern look. And the side of the building where the addition is being placed faces the commercial district. So we think it's going to be an upgrade architecturally. It will vastly improve the functionality of the building. The entrance to the building will actually be relocated from the front of the building to the side where the glass atrium is placed. And overall, it will allow us to make full utilization of the building instead of only being able to use the first floor. I have with me tonight representatives of the owner, representatives of the engineering company, as well as our architects to answer any questions that you have about any of the specifics related to the building addition.
Will the owner of the building that has the operation in there now, will they be operating while the construction's going on?
The existing tenant will continue to stay in the property when this is done.
When it's done, but not while they're...
Well, no. I mean, so while it's being done, they will stay in the building. The improvements that we're making will also provide some additional enhancements to that tenant, and the tenant wants these improvements to be made because we will be providing a conference room in the back, as well as some additional utility area, as well as the additional security. But as was mentioned, there's very little, there are very few people that are at the site on a day-to-day basis. But the people that come to the site are primarily for repairs of equipment or monitoring it. It's not like it's got a number of employees here on a daily basis. So the work that's going to be done can be done without disrupting the existing operation.
Okay, it just sounded like a great deal of structural work that could hamper either equipment or bodies if they're in there. But the architects and engineers, I sure know what they're doing. Okay, questions? No questions? Nothing?
I like the appearance of it. I think it's a
gorgeous.
huge improvement.
It's going to be a rather a dramatic improvement along the street. It really is. It's a very pedestrian building. It was a utility structure, and it was it's
Is that the old CMP building?
Mhm.
Yeah.
so it's not particularly. I mean, it's functional to a point, but it was never built to be overly attractive. This is going to be a dramatic improvement.
Has the second floor ever been used? Do you know?
Not since they purchased the property.
Wow.
It was used as an old switching, like a telephone switching
Right.
type of use before, but they didn't have the same requirements for the electrical support that they need. And if you look at a server room and the type of electrical equipment that's needed to support the data processing servers, they're very heavy, and they need the additional support that this addition is going to provide. They're not that large, which is why we can do it in a relatively small addition, but they are too heavy to put in the existing facility.
How long will the construction take?
About 6 months.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Are there no other questions? Mr. Holler? Okay. All right. Any other comments or reviews on the agenda item here? The application? No? If not, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I hereby move that we adopt the findings of facts and conclusions of law as outlined in the technical staff report and move for approval of variance application number 860 for the property at 312 Laurel Avenue.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Sarah, may I have a,
Mr. Whitley,
I vote aye.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mrs. Les,
Yes.
Chairwoman Shannat,
yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Right, we have to do the resolution. Oh, the action of the resolution. On 16?
Yeah, that's for the resolution for the variance.
Okay, so I hereby move that I thought Mr. Whitley did that, didn't you?
No, he didn't.
No?
I did-
You make
yeah.
a motion at the top.
It's just a separate motion.
Okay, I hereby move that we approve resolution number 6860- for 312 Laurel Avenue.
Madam Chair, the resolution is 16-02 BOA.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, let's do this again, one more time. I hereby move that we approve resolution number 16-02-BOA for application 860-312 Laurel Avenue.
Second.
Thank you.
I'm not sure.
Not sure
Can the chair
what.
make the resolution? Yeah. Someone else has to make the motion.
Madam Chair, I hereby move that we approve resolution number 16-02 BOA for application number 860 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Whitley,
I vote aye.
Mrs. Collins,
Yes.
Mrs. Les,
Yes.
Chairwoman Shannat,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
on your
Great job.
project.
Yes, you too.
Do we have anything else that we need to discuss this evening? Staff, is there anything that we need to discuss this evening, or? No? Everything's good? All right, then we will adjourn the meeting. Everybody have a nice holiday weekend. Be safe.